Hey guys, it's Nicole and Knight, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry. Last episode, we kind of just started at the beginning, where essentially we kind of went through a regular day of school. We're playing as Keiichi, basically the only boy in sort of like an all-girls group. He kind of talks about how he sort of lives in this sort of different kind of place, setting type thing versus, a city life where it's more of a country, rural life. That's a little different for him, unusual, whatever, but, overall, it's not an awful bad experience or anything else like that. So, at that point, all there is we just kind of progress on forward at that point. And knowing this game, it's going to get dark really quick, I'm hoping. And I imagine if it is going to take a little bit more time for this game to be, really, slow, so to speak. It takes its time just to make sure, it presents all the characters, presents as much of the situation as it can in terms of the plot, the world that you're going to basically be in for a while, things like that. Alright, and, let's, go ahead and get started. Okay. So we're going to go continue, we're going to load at the end of chapter 1, yes. Alright, so we viewed all the tip stop times, so let's just continue basically, because that's all we needed here. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Ren and Mion were going to show me around Himinazawa. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember this is a casual wear, that's true. Rena and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. Kei-chan, you're late. Sorry. The show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting. Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. Bitch, no. Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She's just as guilty as me. Rena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right. Rena really did make a picnic. Oh, that's right, this is what was happening. Kei-chan, after you left, Rena pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this since last night, Can you take responsibility for this? Alright. I am a man, after all. I'll take responsibility. Huh? Responsibility? For what? Come on, Rena, I know you're not this, clueless, come on. Anyway, as we both turned around slowly to look at Rena, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this was Rena we're talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess? When Rena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Keiichi-kun is a boy after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Let's get going. Heave-ho! Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things were in there were lunchboxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Rena sad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Fair enough. Had a bowl of cereal before starting this, and I'm already, still hungry. Ugh. Having finished the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies, after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work and the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. So we think. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Mabada-kun, I believe. My two companions exchanged greetings with everybody as we ran across. All of these passerbys even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone since there are so few people here in Himinazawa. Yeah, I get that mentality, like small towns where everyone kind of knows everyone's stuff. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they'll automatically assume it's Mabara fellow who just moved here? Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you could pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. Good luck. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in a bookstore, I could expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Yeah, that's the least of your concerns, I imagine, but we'll get to what I think of that later. Himinazawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course I know them. The first person we met was the old man Takazu from the Makuno bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute. Next we meet the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. And if I'm getting any of these names wrong and stuff, I'm sorry, just in advance. His hobby is sharpshooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Our hobbies are birdwatching and photography. You know the names of everyone we passed by, and even their profiles? Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter. I have to imagine after a while, just any kind of thing where you meet people and stuff like that, you just know them. It's not that surprising. Like me personally, I think it would take me a while to get used to people knowing their name, knowing what they do, things like that. It just gets a lot after a while. But, different town setting and everything. Makes sense. Well, yeah. We're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. So let's try it out. You there, who am I? You're Keiichi Mabara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Same. Lately you switched over to wearing boxers. Didn't you? That's enough. Whoa, how do you know that? This game's gotten a lot more perverted than I remember it. Or at least in terms of the series itself. I wonder if that was their intention. But I think visual novel did come out before the anime adaptation, if I remember correctly. The boxers. Enough of that. Apparently there's absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Himinazawa was not the place to be trifled with. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than show me around. That's right. We're parroting around like this after all. Don't you all think so too? That Kei-chan is fitting right in here in Himinazawa? The population in Himinazawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's in here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of, "You're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved into a city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. Yeah, I was gonna say, why would you take this as a joke? Right, city perspective makes sense. We passed another person. Of course we were called out again the same way. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fuji-sama-san. Good day. Well, it's Fujishima-san. Okay. Oh my, Maibara-kun. How wonderful for you, having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good. As As I look back over to Ren and Mion, they gave me a wink. So, now then. About time to have lunch, maybe? Maybe? Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man, I'll do what I can. But this is just too much. It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I'd expect no less from the class representative. Rena, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view. Yes! Good idea, I agree. Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Are we going to the dumpster? Or garbage place, or whatever it is? Crossing the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is the Furude Shrine. It's probably the place where it's best view around. This place is gonna be a good spot for a lot of events. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This place. Be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. It's like this game knows. I'm just kidding. Alright. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming the festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunchboxes, and there. Various colored lunchboxes were placed one after another, the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Bruh, I mean, if you weren't gonna finish it, I'll eat it. Hey, Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get all this down, you know. Hey, good afternoon. It's Rika-chan and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see, this was her secret plan. To power in numbers. Yeah, my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty. We just had to come since there was such a commotion. What's the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rina. I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp in our property? The temple is public grounds, it's not yours. Keiichi is right. This is everyone's property. Wow, Rika-chan's such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back to Satoko. Hold on 1 second. Where's my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat. So don't worry, there's some for you too. None. I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that. Rika! Here, chopsticks. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really, Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. Have a plate, one for me-chan and Rika-chan too. Rena whipped out a pair of chopsticks and paper plates. If you don't hurry, it'll all be eaten up. That's right, okay. Shall we commence this battle? Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone. Rena said as she opened up thermos. You know, it's a crime that you're not showing the food off, but at the same time, it's probably a good thing, because I'd probably be like, I want food. Just then I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. Oh, now you have this hamburger. Using your elbow is against the rules, Satoko. Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules. It was a tough battle. Blocking with a full momentum and an elbow in the opening move, Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. The last meatball! Satoko Hoju has been bested. Nom. Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Hey, pad pats fix everything, right? I'm choking. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything I can give her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? It seems that, long ago, people ate in silence. It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then, the people were busy even while eating and didn't have the time to compliment the flavor. Well, I guess that makes sense. That's just you. But you know, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean. She blushed a little as she said that. It was delicious. With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rena with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. After Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a rain puff smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. Oh, Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious. Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it. To reward Rika-chan for her praise, ta-da! These are special. 2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. Bizarre how? What is it, Satoko? What's with that defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Rena-san? Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think of with your weak vocab? Oh ho ho, well then, allow me to show you. After Satoko flashed me a defiant look, she charged the tone of her voice suddenly. Hey! So, Rena One-chan's lunch? Satoko thought it was yummy too. Satoko looked at her poutily while talking cutesy. I'm not crap at reading, I swear, guys. Well, how was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears, that's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? I think it counts. Is this a Rena limited special skill? She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rena! She's gonna fall for it. Oh, how? Of course, that was speaking for the impossible. Rena glomped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her. Cute! Satoko's so cute! Take you home, how? Swish. Stab. Push. Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looks over at Mion and me again with a defiant gaze. It only took 5 seconds to take down Rena. That's unfair. To think she had such a trick. Are you surprised? If it upsets you so much, why not reward Rena with some praise? Damn it! That was such a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise. Satoko? You think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Leon. What kind of trick is it? Kei-chan is going to be the one who does it. What? Ho ho ho. Why don't I have you show me then? The writhing of an old maid. The plan of attack she suggested was wicked. But it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. I mean, honestly, she was probably gonna give, like, everybody a thing anyway, right? Or maybe not, I don't know. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? No. Actually, most of it, almost all of it was frozen stuff. Then which ones did you make fresh? Well, it's embarrassing. Do I really have to say? Must I? From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Brenna turned an even deeper shade of red. The other words, I can't believe it, practically written on her face. How can you tell? How? That I made it. Of course, Mion told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Honestly, that's creepy, but okay. Silence enveloped the area. Rena, face still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course I did too. I sure would like to try one of Rena's handmade apple rabbits or something. Even if this was all because I was competing against Satoko, it felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Just a little bit. Yeah. Then at that moment, whoosh, it was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. Please eat some, Keiichi-kun. There's plenty for you. I don't even know what that word is. Instantly, dozens of apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over. Okay, so say, Keiichi-kun. My head was forcefully laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth, while she was squealing, one after another, was forced in my mouth, more and more. Apples. How about them apple? Here. In other words, how about them apples, Satoko? Looks like we win. Kei-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it? I can't believe it, such trickery. It doesn't bother me at all. Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it. I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Rena stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something. Rika-chan, you're not eating it? Did the salt water make it too strong? Maybe? Looking over at Rika-chan, who had pulled a toothpick off the apple rabbit, placed it into her cupped hands, seemed to be at a loss of what to do. Poor Mr. Rabbit. I feel sorry for him. I want to save him. Whee! That was the sound of blood spurting from Rena's nose. Oh, I was like, what the Oh, okay. Cute. Tonight, I will take you home. She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all the apples around me, gathered them up with a whip, and fixed them back up on a plate. Now they're all just fine, Kay? Here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan. Kay? Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee after having that plate of rabbit shoved at her. She whispered, "This is our victory." "Rika, you little shit. What? A comeback? Yeah. That's hard air. I just don't care anymore." Thus my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Oh, good lord. It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Rena and Kei-chan. See you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mion. I had a great time. See you tomorrow. Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion, and it ended up just Rena and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home. Thanks for coming today, Keiichi-kun. Was it fun? Yeah, lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now. Then, well, would you mind taking a little detour, maybe? Maybe? A detour? Is it far? It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long. Since we had been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rena, I quietly nodded. I really like the artwork in this so far, too. Here we are. Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper. Ooh, it's been quite a while. I wonder what's here. When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here with this garbage pile? It's not garbage. To me, it's a pile of treasure. Rena had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that meant there was something cute here? Whoa, a new pile. I can't wait. She bounded up the unstable slope. I'd expect no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait, I'm coming. Whoa. My city-raised self was completely pitiful. It's alright, just stay right there, Keiichi-kun. It won't take long. Rena kindly declined my accompaniment. Don't fall. Watch your step. I'm fine. This is nothing at all. Yeah, this is gonna be another area that's, important. Literally bounding up the heap of trash, Rena disappeared over to the other side. I didn't like being left behind, so I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Rena around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, a sudden noise scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Hey, you there, guy. How's it going? I forgot your name, but it's been a minute. Standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied over me through his camera. His body was tanned and fit. But something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. Whoa. You surprised me. Although, startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line. I'm the one who's surprised here. My bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Himinazawa? I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious outlook, he introduced himself without my prompting. Tomitake. I think it's Tomitake. And if I get that wrong, my bad. It's just been a while since I've seen the show. Freelance photographer. I come to Himinazawa from time to time. I didn't ask who you were, but okay. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. My bad, my bad. I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see. It's like you're an adult trying to be cool, kinda, so you're like, just stop. So wait, you're saying I'm the same as the birds? No, well, you see, the image of a young man in twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for trying to take your picture without asking. It's also pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. Well, you get buttered up pretty easily. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy, trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rena would be back soon. This older guy, Tomitaka-san, didn't mind my cautious responses and continued rambling on by himself. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. Finish now. Rena popped up her head from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand. You have someone with you? What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. Don't know. Maybe she's checking on that dismembered corpse that was out here long ago. Tomitaka-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Uh-oh, I responded like I would if I were talking with Rena and my others. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. There was one moment of oof. Hahaha. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you. You were waiting a while, I guess? I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for starting you, Keiichi-kun. Bro, you don't have a right to call me that yet, alright? Tomitaka-san's chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit. Keiichi-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder. It wasn't Rena's fault, so I decided to brush it off for now. How was it? Find a treasure trove? Oh yes, so listen. You see, there was a Colonel Sanders doll. Oh, I remember Colonel Sanders doll. A Colonel Sanders doll? Oh, that thing. Those statues that they always have out in the front of the fried chicken place. That life-size dummy? Yes, Colonel Sanders. How cute. I want to take it home. I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not, but, well, she seems to want it. It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home, right? It's become the base of another pile. I can't dig it out easily. There's no lamppost over there, so it'll get dark pretty soon. Rena seemed quite down about finding your treasure and not being able to bring it back. I'll help you out. To repay you for that delicious picnic you prepared today. Oh, thank you. Birds heading home to roost proclaim that nightfall would soon be upon us. Keiichi-kun is going to help. I can take Colonel Sanders home. Aww. Rena staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state. Hey, Rena. Long ago, did something happen here? Seems like they were building a dam here. I don't know the details though. Oh. Just wondering if you knew about, an accident or something. I don't know. Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like denial than an answer. It must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rena quickly lightened her expression. Actually, I didn't live here until a year ago. Huh? You transferred here too? I was sure of that. So you see, I really don't know much about before that. Sorry. Don't really know, don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. This is where things sort of start. Thinking about it, of course, it would be like that. This wasn't the type of thing girls would enjoy talking about. And you meet someone like me. Alright, moving on. It was quite a disturbing incident. It seems that they haven't been able to find one of the arms. If it's just like Tomitaka-san said, then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. yeah, like that sudden bit of silence. It's definitely a shift in mood for sure. Like, if you don't know anything about this, you receive new tips. The Marlborough Mansion, a damn site murder, dismemberment. Oh, I got through this pretty quickly than I thought. Okay, let's check out new tips. Let's just check out the Marlborough Manor. I guess that's like our place. And back to this happy tone. Okay. So, Kei-chan, you're not stinking rich? What is this all of a sudden? Did I come to school in a limo before? How much do you get monthly allowance? About $10. My, that's rather plebeian amount. His lunch is made up of normal stuff. He isn't rich. What are they talking about? To be asked out of nowhere how much I get and then to be told it's a plebeian amount. Sorry. Rena seemed to pick up on my dubious expression and started giggling. Kei-chan, your house, it's pretty big, yeah? So the architecture has people all around Minazawa calling it the Marlborough Manor, and it sort of stands out. Marlborough Manor? Since the house is so big, everybody is gossiping and wondering exactly how rich you are. I see. Now I get it. Well, the frame of it is huge. I can see how it would cause some misunderstandings. From my deduction, I wager they spent way too much money on the building of the house, and that's why they are now broke. Yeah, because that's how that works. Being broke, very, very unfortunate. Rena-chan took pity on me as she patted on my head. I go from being treated like a millionaire to a beggar. Yeah, sorry for ruining your imagination, but we aren't millionaires or poor. We're the image of a normal average household. You don't call it normal with that huge house. The entranceway is all grand, and the gate is large enough for a large truck to get through. That's not normal at all. They do say the bigger your house, the more prosperous you are. I guess. The reason the house is so big is because Dad's studio is in it too. There are a bunch of different workshops, and a lot of his works are hung up in different places. All of them are huge too. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think they ever specified what his parents did in the anime either. Like, talking about his dad being an artist and stuff. I was like, I never heard that. But that's a new thing, so. For those reasons, the family actually uses only a third of the house for day-to-day living. He planned it out so people and cars could come in and see the gallery he opens up in the house someday. By the way, the entranceway Mion is talking about is one for the studio and is normally sealed off. The entranceway the Marlborough family actually uses is very plain and simple one. The interior is much different from how it looks on the outside. I'd really like a chance to explore Kei-chan's house. Claiming it not to be rich, but having a home like that. What could be hidden there? Maybe there's something cute hidden. Aww. They probably had no money to purchase furniture, so it's filled with Spartan rooms. If there are carpeted rooms, I would love to try rolling around on the floor. Aw, Rika, you're so cute. That'd be great. I want to roll around too. Seems like their imagination was piling on. Well, sometime in the near future, it wouldn't be so bad to invite them all to my house. Dad is a sucker for ladies, so we might even let them look around his studio. The Higurashi crescendoed as the sky towered over everything. It was hot, but the air was clear. It smelled like the beginning of summer. Alright, so we got through that part. Alright, we are going to the damn site murder / dismemberment newspaper edition. From June 8th, 1979 edition. The Shishibone City Okinomiya Police Station, June 9th, late at night. Suspects, all of these people, were arrested upon suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. The main offender has been added to wanted list nationwide. According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at the Minazawa Dam construction site workroom on the 9th at 9 p.m. where they are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer as a group, dismembering his body and hiding it. On the 9th, at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filed by Shishibone City Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Since the portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of a corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested at the same day, but the main culprit was still at large. Police are currently on his trail. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute, during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies. The investigation is ongoing. So I think that's really cool that, I've watched the anime first and then got into the visual novel to get this sort of insight. So it's kind of like Easter eggs for me, and I really like that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna chill for this episode here, and I'll start up again on the next one. Again, it's gonna be one of those where it's pretty light, where everything starts off, so where you kind of know the characters and kind of get a little bit more in-depth detail about things. And I think this is starting to kick up a little bit, where, you're starting to question things. So Rena kind of gave off that little indication where she knows more than she says she does. So that's a really thing that I'm really excited to get started doing. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this episode. Let me know if you guys are enjoying this game and everything in the comments, and if there's anything else in terms of psychological horror and stuff like that that I should be playing. I got a lot of games and stuff in mind, just kind of where to start and everything, I guess. I'm really glad I decided on this one, though, for sure. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys have a great one. Bye-bye.